This afternoon we're interviewing Amee Targett nee Whyman. Amee was the daughter of Raymond Francis and Lillian Eva Marshall. So, good afternoon. How are you today?
All right.
Fantastic. You've got such an amazing history. Your family goes way back. There was such a vibrant family in Waratah over many, many years. So, were your parents born in Waratah?
As far as I know, my father was, but my mother wasn't. She came from the Upper Castra or Castra, out of Ulverston. She was a school teacher at Waratah when she met Dad.
Oh, so Raymond had 5 brothers and 4 sisters? Were they had much?
He came from a big family.
Yep. Okay.
Don't ask me how, I can't remember them all or whatever.
That's okay. And you yourself had 1 brother and 4 sisters?
Yeah.
Yep, and who were they?
That was Dorothy was the eldest. Dorothy, Gwen, Lena, Dorothy, Gwen, Leslie, Lena, Joy and Amee.
Lovely, and Amee. That's beautiful. So were you the baby of the family?
I'm the baby of the family.
Oh, because we did an interview not long ago before Dorothy passed, and I think she was the eldest of the family.
She was the eldest one.
The eldest one. Beautiful. So, you always lived in Waratah as a child. Did you move away?
We moved away and went to Rossarden, to the east coast, and had 6 years up there. And we've been back and in this house about 55, I think about 54 or 55 years.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And it'll be 23 years in June since I was here on my own.
There
My husband passed away. And now I've lost my 2 daughters, and I've still got Colin.
Wonderful.
And he couldn't be with me today.
Okay.
He's been out to see me, but he had other things on today.
That's okay.
That was it.
Yeah, it's still lovely having your family around, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So tell me, taking back to your life in Waratah, so what was it like growing up and working in Waratah?
I loved it all. It was a good place. There was never any, we never had much trouble up there or anything. The only thing I can remember is when we lost a great friend of ours, Zilla Housing ago.
So you married Terry Targett, okay? So where did you meet? Where did you and Terry meet?
We met at Waratah. We grew up together.
Oh, you grew up together. Oh,
his family lived there at Waratah, and then, of course, one of his sisters, Doris, she worked for my parents at the hotel, and we just grew up together. And he was a few years older than what I was, but that's how things turn out.
Isn't that wonderful? Because it was such a busy social life, wasn't it? And lots of people.
Yeah, we were very busy in the hotel, and we had tourists and that coming and people, and then of a Sunday, we never knew how many we were going to have for a lot for dinner until the buses perhaps pulled up out the front, and the chap had come in and asked, can we do enough dinner for them? We never refused anyone, and that, we had it was hard working at times, but we had our sports and everything, and everyone, it was called their relations, we was all mixed up together, and there was one part of Waratah called the Thorn Town, and then the other one was called something else.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So I'm going to get back to the hotel in a moment, but first of all I'd just like to focus on your dad. So your dad was heavily involved in Waratah, as was your mum, and had many businesses over the years. Can you tell us some of the businesses that your family was involved in?
Well, they was only involved in the 2 that I know of. Was Dad with his Cloudsdale horses until he finished there and sold it out. I don't know who bought it off Dad, but then he went into the hotel. Because see, we was in the hotel 21.5 years.
That long? So when was that? When did you?
Well,
how old were you?
I was only about 5, I think, 5 or 6 when
So that'd be about the
Mum
1930s.
they gave up the house
Yep.
and that because where we lived and then opposite there, Dad's mother and father lived there.
Really?
Yeah, and that, but I don't know who went into the house after I went into the hotel. I never ever knew who they were. You
So
know,
where was your room at the hotel?
and of course that was my place then. I had,
Yes.
from the time I went in as a little one until the day I got married,
Fair
I was in the hotel.
Wow, wow. So where was your room?
Oh, in the hotel, well, there was one big room and Mum and Dad put 3 double beds in there, and then my brother had another one because, oh, this is telling out of character, because Dad's father lived with us for 18 years in the hotel. Nana and Pop, they parted.
Okay.
And
So
then
what was Ray's Dad's name?
Philip
Philip
Whyman.
Whyman.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
And that, Philip and Alice, I think her name is. I didn't have a lot to do with Grandma.
So what sort of jobs did you do at the pub?
Well, I used to have to come home from school and get whatever shopping Mum wanted in groceries and take in. And many a time towards my last lot of schooling, at dinner time, if they were busy, well, I had to get into my uniform and wait on the tables in the dining room. Well, then I ended up that I traded. I could go all over the hotel and do the jobs that's had to be done. And then one time when my mother got burnt with roast pork, and she got burnt in the face, well, Dorothy was the main one for the dining room then. Well, I had to go into the dining room and serve everyone while Dorothy carved up the dinners.
Wow.
Well, then I was in the dining room for a long time, but then Mum could see I was getting a bit tired of that, so I went into the kitchen and done the vegetables and the washing up. And we had big paddocks up the back of the hotel. When Mum, we only had the copper in those days and the old ringer.
Mm-hmm.
Well then, when we got enough, or Dad got enough money, well, Hancock's from Burnie, I think it was Hancock's from Burnie, bought a big washing machine, electric washing machine. And we put that in there. That made it a lot easier, but we still had to put the washing machine in baskets and take it up into the back big paddocks and put it on the old-fashioned clotheslines.
No dryers in those days.
No. Yeah. No, that's the best I can come up with.
That's wonderful. So did all the whole family were involved in the hotel work?
Yeah, and then and of course then when my sister Gwen got married, well, I had to finish my schooling to work well and truly in the hotel.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we had school teachers staying there, but I'd go into my own bedroom on my own, and I'd study, and that's when I went back and finished all my schooling by staying at home and studying like that.
You had really good work ethic.
It was hard work, but now I can curse because we had to kneel down on our hands and knees and scrub cement. It wasn't, and linoleum. We never knew what carpet was.
In the pub?
In the pub for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
And when we first went into the hotel, I can remember Mum and Dad saying that we never had all electricity. It was only in certain parts of the hotel.
See the original bar. They modernised the hotel.
They've modernised it since I came out of it.
It looked terrible. I mean, I saw the bar and I went, wow, the original bar was beautiful. And I just thought, I can just imagine what it was like.
Yeah, no, I used to scrub those floors with boards.
I reckon you did. Oh dear, oh dear. Someone's asked me to ask you, When your dad had the Bishop Hotel, tell us about the time you played up when you were living at the pub.
When he played up,
When you played up. Oh.
what the hell did I do then? I don't know.
Oh.
Who told you that bit?
Oh, Marie Roberts actually asked me to ask you.
Marie Roberts.
Yeah.
The only time I played up was when I was climbing the fence and fell and broke my arm.
Oh, that's it. There you go. I reckon that's it. Are you right with that?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
still right.
So I'm going to ask you
run
again.
over it again.
Okay. Okay. Oh dear.
I was staying with Dad's sister, Auntie Elby,
Yes.
and because her boys, and that, and then there was Gail Wyman's two brothers. We was all up at Auntie Elby's playing,
Yeah.
and of course something happened on the next paddock, and of course we didn't go down and go out the gate.
Yeah.
Little smart ass decided to jump the fence.
Oh, and it tripped.
And I got tripped and I broke my right arm. And then Gail's brother got bit in the left arm with an Alsatian dog.
Oh no.
Yeah. And of course they took me down to the hotel to Dad, and Dad took me through to Latrobe, because that's the only hospital I was there to go to.
Oh, okay. So did you get into trouble?
No,
No.
it was just playing, an accident.
Good. Yes.
Yeah, but that's the only time I think I can remember.
Did your dad get up to any antics?
No,
He was a good boy.
he was fair to everyone, I think. Not that I know that he got up to any antics.
No.
Gail might know more than what I know, because her parents would tell it, I suppose, but Uncle Vic and Auntie Eileen.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, because I don't know, but he was good to everyone, and
Yes.
there's lots of people up there would have been done without him.
Exactly that. Everybody that I've ever spoken to have got really wonderful memories of your family, actually, and your father and your mother, and it was a real shame that I couldn't get to meet them. It was a real shame. So we hear that your mum worked really hard. So what did her day look like? She was a school teacher, so then she came into the hotel?
No, they were married well, I don't know how long they were married before they went into the hotel, because I wasn't quite 6 years old when I went in. Well, I was the youngest of six, and Dad was, I used to go in the car with him out to Savage River and all those places when he used to take, when he first got his car. You know, and he used to take the groceries and their tobacco and whatever the people wanted, and
At the 19 mile?
out to the 19 mile, yeah, and out to the Fossey, and where someone went the other day.
Oh, how wonderful. I'll have to bring, I've got a couple of photos of your dad out at the 19 mile. I'll bring them in to show you, because they're just really beautiful. Yeah. And your mum, okay, like your dad, she was heavily involved in the community, and I believe that she did a lot to raise money for the war efforts.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Every Thursday, today's Thursday, every Thursday afternoon, her upstairs dining room and tables would be ready. You played poker, or you played some other 500 or whatever, and I'd have to come home from school, wash my hands and boil the kettles and carry the hot teapots upstairs for afternoon tea. Mum provided the afternoon tea every Thursday. We made fruit cakes and ready for the soldiers. Yeah, with all the cooking that she always done. She made fresh bread every day for the hotel.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Of a night time, whoever was the last in the kitchen cleaning up, we had to make this big pot of what we call bread ferment, you know,
The yeast.
The yeast and
Yep.
everything.
Yep. Wow, that is is a hard work. I mean, that takes ages in itself.
Yes.
Isn't it, to be organised to,
No,
you know, all the
we
work.
had fresh bread every night for the dining room.
Yep.
You know, and for the men's lunches.
Yes.
She made it every day. We used to sit for days and hours and wash fresh fruit, you know, make sure the fruit was in big dishes, put out in the sun to dry for all the Christmas cakes and puddings.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Have you got your mum's recipe for Christmas cake?
I used to have all that, but I've given them away to my grandchildren.
Oh, we'll have to get them to send a picture up so we can make some cake.
No, all my cooking's well and truly gone now, Kerry Ann.
How beautiful. So, I'm just noticing in this room here, you've got all this beautiful knitting and crochet. So did your mum teach
My
you?
mother had beautiful fancy work, and she knitted and she crocheted. When she had time to do it, she loved listening to the cricket on the wireless, and when they played late at night, Mum would have a sleep through the day, and then she'd sit up of a night time and listen to the wireless, and while she was doing that, she was doing the ironing with the great big billiard irons, them hot ones that you'd have hot on the stove.
Yes, yeah.
And because my grandfather used to keep the stove going with wood and everything to keep the irons hot, so she could do all the starch ironing.
Should you do that upstairs at the pub?
No,
Downstairs?
downstairs
Yep.
in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
In the
Right,
what we
yep.
call the pantry and
Yeah.
the kitchen.
Wow.
Yeah.
How interesting. Boy, oh boy. No, that is really, really interesting. So I thought we might just go on now and talk about, you would have been, in 1937 there was a plane crash in Waratah, and so you would have been a young 13 or 11-year-old?
Yes,
Did you have many memories?
yeah, and the hotel was full of people, and we put our mattresses on the floor in the kitchen or in the pantry of a night time to sleep.
Yep.
And we gave up our beds for people that come and went through.
Yeah.
But it was hard, but I used to help Mum cut the sandwiches and everything. First thing of the morning, 5:30 we'd get up.
Yep.
And then I'd go to school at 9 o'clock, 9:30,
Yes.
and come home and help with the washing up or whatever, or the silver had to be cleaned.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that.
Of course, silver and the napkins and tablecloths all would have had to be starched.
Yeah.
Yes.
She wouldn't buy, no, we had nothing bought like that. Everything was,
14.
yeah, everything
yeah.
had to be washed up or washed clean, and you name it.
Yeah. In 1937, there were 2 plane crashes in Waratah.
Yeah.
So can you tell me your memories of those plane crashes?
Well, there was one as you went into Waratah, and then the other one that went down out the Savage River way, and that's when we used to do. They went looking for it, and Dad was one of the leaders then.
He was,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, a special man, very, very special. So, do you know, can you tell us what happened? You know, the plane crashed in Waratah and was on Camp Road. Okay, so...
They came and took the one, I think, from Cam Road, if I can remember rightly, and the one they was in the bush, they got out, and the propeller was cleaned up and done up and put in the hotel, Bischoff Hotel, over the dining room table, dining room doors.
And it's still there.
And it ought to be still there because that was one of the main reasons that my father stated, because he's in the photo.
Yes, yes, it's still there.
That it has to stay there for a lifetime.
Good,
And,
so it
and
should.
whoever buys the hotel, well, they can't take that down off the wall.
That you were alive at the time when it all happened.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of people were alive or too old, and we get distorted memories, and then people die, and then they said Nana told us this or whatever. Okay, but you're alive. I mean, you were at an age where you would remember a lot of these things are going on. So you would have met the pilots, for example.
Well, I think one of the pilots was some relation to my mother, and the name, but don't ask me now because since I knew all that, well, I've had too many strokes and I'm too old to remember everything now. It'll back there, listen.
It'll come back later. It always does. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's just wonderful. But yes, there are a lot of photos around there, and it's just wonderful that Jackie Robinson could actually photograph the scenes, you know, and particularly with removal out of the bush and everything like that. Just amazing.
And in the hotel, we had the geese, ducks, fowls, all up the yard. Mum had her patch for flowers, garden. Dad had his garden, vegetable garden, up the back of the hotel. He had all that. There wasn't a lot that they bought. You know, it was all go up to the garden and dig the carrots there, get the vegetables out, you know, and that. And we had the milking.
Right, of course. Oh, you had cows.
We had cows as well.
Fair go.
Yes,
like
because
your
I used to.
farm.
And when we let them go, after they were milked, and Mum used to let them go like and wander around Waratah and that, then I'd have to go in the afternoon when I come home from school and bring the cows home. I brought 2 cows home one night and they were the wrong cows.
That'd be funny. Oh dear,
Oh, no.
dear. That sounds like a amazing life living in the hotel. Seriously, you had all the hard work to do. You did it hard, but you met some really interesting people, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, we had some lovely people. We had the working men, you know, that worked in the hotel, in the mine, and there was one fellow. Oh God, I used to growl when I used to have to cut his lunch, and then this day he came to me, and I was working at the hotel then, and he said. He came into the kitchen and Mum said, "What do you want? Can I help you?" He said, "Yes." He said, "I've got to do a double shift tomorrow." And he said, "Will you let Amee know?" And I thought, how in the hell am I going to do 2 lots of lunches for him? You know what I done?
Tell me.
I made 2 lunches, all of Vegemite.
Oh, oh no.
He said, "I opened me." He came to Mum the next morning after he came home from work. He said, "Don't ever let Amee do my work, lunches again." And Mum said, "Why?" He said, "I had 16 Vegemite sandwiches." And she said, "What did you do?" Well, he said, "There was no way I could come and get another lunch." He said, "Too far away." He said, "So I was getting hungry." He said, "I just had to eat."
16.
And then when my father passed away up here, and that they were coming in after the funeral, you know, to see us and everything, and this fellow came in and my sister gave him his cup of tea and everything, and I said to Mum, "Can I rough up a sandwich and pass it to Eric?" She said, "Are you game enough?" And Eric looked at me and he said, "If that's Vegemite," he said, "take it, give it to the chooks." And I don't know why, but I don't eat Vegemite.
That's a great story. Oh, I love it.
Oh, look, it used to be hard, you know, because, well, you had to have, perhaps a meat sandwich or paste or jam or whatever, you know, and lettuce or tomato and, you know, different things, but that's...
Did you have time to go to the dances?
Too right, we went to dances. We had a dance every Friday night, or perhaps once a month. The money would go towards buying fruit and making cakes for their soldiers. And, yeah.
But those cakes seem
And we had pictures every Saturday night.
Oh,
the picture theatre up there. And we had that every Saturday nights. Friday night, I'd go to the dance, have to be up early the next morning to work. whether you liked it or not, whether you only had a couple of hours sleep.
Yep.
We used to travel down sometimes to where Parawi is and have a dance down there by the old lanterns, and next night we'd go to the pictures, and perhaps Sunday night, if they used to sometimes put an extra picture show on. But Monday nights you weren't allowed out. You had to stay home and
Yes.
go to bed early.
I
You
reckon.
get too tired.
Oh, that's
But
gorgeous.
then I played badminton.
Yep. Badminton and hockey.
I played hockey and badminton. They were my main two
Okay.
games.
Right.
I loved both of them.
Yep.
But
Did you play tennis as well?
no, my mother played tennis and badminton
Yep.
and that, and elder sister, she played tennis.
Yep.
But no, I liked me hockey and I liked me badminton.
And so did they have the two, did you play badminton in the Athenaeum Hall?
Yes,
Or
one
outside?
next to the church.
Oh,
that
in,
was
in there, yes, right, yes.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we used to have our dances of a Friday night.
Oh,
And then the big turnouts and the ball, we had the big Athenaeum Hall.
right,
and
yes.
that. Yeah.
So the Swingers band played in the church hall, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, they were good dancers and, and everything. But
Wow. So did you catch the train much at all?
no, I used to, after my sister got married and lived in Zion, yeah, well, I used to, Mum would let me go to, and Dad, they'd take me out to Guildford and put me on the train, and I'd go to Zion and stay with my sister for a while.
Is that
Until,
Gwen?
yeah, Gwen,
Gwen, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
until she got used to being down there, and, but no, I had a good life and good upbringing.
So you're a really close family there.
Oh,
It's
we're
really
very
special.
close.
Yeah, gee, that's lovely. That you've got really beautiful memories. Oh, that's really special.
Well, I don't think I'm doing too bad for
No.
really.
So you knew the Robinsons' shop and
Yeah.
all, and Martha and the
Martha
fruit
and,
Martha?
yeah, they had a shop not far, almost opposite the Church of England, on the main highway,
Yep.
on that. And then I don't know what happened, but then down further on the opposite side where the council chambers is,
Yeah.
well, they had a bigger shop there, and that's where Nancy and her partner had the shop after they lost their mother and father, went up to Launceston to
So do you remember where farmers were? Is that where farmers
no,
were?
farmer's shop, that was in the main street.
In the main street. Right.
That
Okay.
wasn't far from the hotel.
Right. Is
Yeah.
that down? Because I don't know. Was that down where the old Waratah Hotel was when it got
Yes,
there?
where the other one was. Yeah, in that round about that position.
Right. Oh, I wonder what happened to that one. Yeah, that's interesting. So, do you remember the Waratah Hotel, or you were too young?
No, I can remember it.
Yeah.
Well and truly, 'cause I worked there.
Oh, at the Waratah as
Yeah.
well. Wow.
Yeah. Now, after I was married and I had Colin and Janet, and there wasn't much going at the time. The Dad and Mum had the hotel, and this job came up, and they came after me to help out with some turnout if I'd come and help them, and I said, well, I'll go and see Mum and Dad first.
Yep.
So, and then they told me, they said, if you want to go, and it was extra money for my family, like I was married at the time. But no, I worked there for a few months just to help out, because there was sickness and one thing and another there, and I just filled in for them, and that. But apart from that,
Wow.
no. Well, I used to know the girl that was in there, one of the girls, and knocked around with her and everything. So it just worked in nicely.
Nicely. So we've seen some photos. This is of the Waratah Hotel. So I haven't. It's very difficult to find any photographs of inside buildings like the school or anything, because I suppose they didn't have flashes.
No.
So when you went inside the Waratah, so you always entered from the front of the Waratah Hotel,
No, there was a back entrance as well.
at our back entrance,
There was
and
a back entrance and a front entrance.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the bar, so just say I came in the
I
front.
can't. The bar was sort of more in the front of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
and there's only one bar? Or ladies'
Well,
bar?
no, there was only the one bar, and then the rooms like it is up there now,
Upstairs?
like the other hotel, the
Like
old
the-
Bishop Hotel.
Yep.
I
Yes.
never went that part. I only worked in the dining room, kitchen and dining room, and that helping out with meals and because I used to do a lot of cooking and
Cool.
everything.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And even when I went to Rossarden,
Yep.
I found out then that I went to work and it was mainly cooking and everything. And I used to do wedding cakes and all up there for the 6 years I was there.
Wow. Did you do any for your sisters or you were too young?
No, I've
Yeah.
never done my sisters, nothing for them. No, Mum done all their wedding cakes.
Really?
And Terry's father, he used to do the icing for wedding cakes.
Yeah,
He used to ice the cakes.
Beautiful. I've got a couple of Robinson photographs of the cakes. I'll have to bring them around. You might know who they belong to. Oh, sound beautiful. Gee, what an industrious, talented family.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to ask you about jewelled nights. That was special. That's sort of very special for us. About did you get to meet Mari Bjelke Peterson or Louise
No,
Lovely?
I've only read the book,
Okay,
but
yes.
my father was well and truly into it.
Oh, absolutely. That was mainly your dad, and your dad used to take them out down to Burnt Spur and down the Ellsworth Meridian, and then they came back to Waratah to stay over. Did they stay mainly at the Waratah Hotel?
Yeah, they stayed in both the hotels because
Yep.
there was that many of them.
Yeah.
Because we had our special boarders and school teachers, and there was only so many rooms, for people to stay in, and so that was it.
It was a fairly big town in those days.
It was a big town.
Yeah.
No, it's only over the last few years that I've read the book of Jewelled Nights. Yeah, and that, but no, I can't go back to any more there.
No, that's okay.
Well, you've worn me out.
I've worn you out, yes, I have. But you had friends like the Kerrisons, and who were your best mates down there?
The Kerrisons, and there was two Kerrisons, Neville and Ray.
Yeah.
Neville ended up being my sister-in-law,
Oh, she's beautiful.
and then Ray is still alive.
Yes.
Their mother was very superstitious, and she was a lovely lady, and then she took sick, and I can remember Dad saying, Mr. Kerrison coming in and asking Dad to go and get her and take her over to the hospital.
Yeah.
'Cause they lived further up from the hotel,
Yeah.
and Dad went to get her, and she said, no, I'm not going today. But Dad said, you got an appointment. She said, I'm not going today. She said, there's a lady standing over there, because you could see from her place over the gully and everything
Oh,
to
yes.
where the hospital was. She said, I don't go anywhere where there's people with green clothes on.
Really?
And she was that superstitious, you see.
Yep.
And then years ago, when Neville and I ended up being sister-in-laws and was here one day knitting, and she said, no, I can see your mistake, but she said, I won't touch it because it's red wool. And she wouldn't wear red. She wouldn't wear anything red. Some lady gave her some red wool, and Albert had to get rid of it.
Really?
He wouldn't have it in the house. Oh, I thought then, how silly you can be.
We did an interview with the lovely Ray, and she's so beautiful. There's beautiful people that are around, just lovely, lovely soul. But she didn't tell us that one about Neville. So that you would have known most of the people in Waratah, I suppose.
Yes, I knew nearly everyone that was up there
Yep.
in my time of life. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
But,
It's great. And did you know that they have much to do with the hospital, the nurses there? Did you go over to the hospital much?
oh, well, whenever I had to go and take my kids to the hospital, and that's it. But the only time I didn't stay, had a bad throat,
Yeah.
and I was nearly died with quinsy, and after I got rid of it, well, I got booked in to go to the hospital, so I went to La Trobe. My mother came with me, and Colin was only little, and they operated on me, and the doctor told Mum, he said that they were the worst set of tonsils he's ever pulled out. And Mum said cold in then that I just hadn't long got over having quinsy.
Right.
Yeah, I nearly died with having it.
Yep.
And that because I was just so throaty and swollen up. I wanted a drink of cordial.
Yes.
And I thought we had a tin of pear juice, and there was only a tin of pineapple juice there. And because my mother-in-law was looking after me this day, and she never told me just to take a sip, I took a mouthful. And the next, everything burst. I'd cut everything with the pineapple juice.
Oh, no.
Well, Terry came home from work just in time to clean up after me because I was in bed for 6 weeks. I couldn't get out of bed.
Oh, no.
They had to go down to the hotel and get blankets and clean linen and you name it.
Wow.
Yeah, but apart from that, that's breaking my arm.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we ended up with the measles and all those sort of things that went around Waratah.
Yeah.
But that was it.
It was a beautiful looking hospital.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, I just thought, did that burn down or did they pull it down? Do you know?
It was still up there. Well, there for a long while. I don't know what's there now because some of them went into it as a place to live.
Did you go down to Magnet much or anything?
I didn't go to the Magnet much, but my sisters did.
Yep.
They used to walk out to Magnet of a night time for a dance and then walk home again, and
Yep.
I never went there.
So what about on top of the mountain? Did you go up the mountain much?
I used to go up there a fair bit, for a walk with my girlfriends or go down to the pontoon, and that was it.
Oh. And the Black Tank, did you go around that way?
You had to go past the Black Tank to
Okay.
get to the pontoon.
Right, yeah.
Or
So
you-
were the houses around that way at all?
Yeah, there was big, not near the Black Tank,
Yeah.
but down 5 mile down around the roads and everything, there was the mining town of the pontoon.
Okay.
Yeah, where they used to sludge for tin and, things like that. The uncle had a shack down there, and then after, they built some houses there in the finish,
Mhm.
and Mum used to go down, we used to walk down of a Sunday afternoon perhaps, and we'd perhaps walk down, and then after tea Dad would come down in the car and bring us back home.
Oh, perfect. Way to go. Yeah, wow. That'd be good. And the power station would have been running when you went down there?
Yeah, well, Terry worked in the power station.
Okay, yeah. Pretty magic place. And then there was the Ringtail Falls. Did you go swimming there at all?
Yeah, the falls there right in the main street, they were beautiful.
Yeah,
Still
that's
are, I think.
beautiful, yes. So the Ringtail Falls are right near the power station. It just looked to me that would be a really nice place for families to swim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to swim in the dams up there.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Not me.
No, you
My
were.
husband did, he was a great swimmer.
Okay, excellent. So you were friends with the Thorn girls as well, all the Thorns?
Yeah, there was the Thorn girl. Well, we were related to the Thorns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Thorns and the Kenworthys were related to.
Wonderful.
So,
Yeah. So you knew
Okay.
Errol? You knew Errol?
yes, Errol's a first cousin, you see. They're all related.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. How beautiful. thank you so much for today and being able to organise so that we could have this wonderful interview with Amee today. And it's just lovely that Amee has you as a neighbour to look out for her and to care for her and to listen and help out. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say thank you very, very much for our conversation this afternoon. It's been so interesting. You've had such an amazing life down at Waratah and the memories are just phenomenal. So I'm really grateful to have this opportunity today. Thank you very, very much.
I'm very glad for Kerry to come in and help out and
Yeah, thank you.
do what I was supposed to have been done, I suppose, finding PowerPoints and you name it.